What's up, guys? I'm Joe Youngblood with Tradger Farms. I'm a whitetail habitat specialist with Whitetail Habitat Solutions alongside Jeff Sturgis and the gang. Hope everyone is doing well. It almost seems a little weird to say that now that most of our videos aren't going to really be walking around the property and getting things together and going over habitat stuff because it's hunting season. Today is the first day I'm going to be going out. Before we get there, though, thought I would possibly go over these camp mocks that I got from First Lite. I bought them. It's my first time trying them on. Try and get you set up here, see what you guys think, especially before I get out to Montana. I looked at the lows, and it's going to be getting pretty much close to freezing, especially in the night and early mornings. And seems like quite a shock because the next 4 days or so here, it's like 80 degrees. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a body shock. So we'll see how that goes out in a tent in the mountains. We're going horseback to get there, about 20 miles. I think I might have mentioned that to you guys, but I'm excited to go. I'm excited to go. We'll get a hunt or two in on the farm before we leave, which I am excited about. I'll probably do like a results video later in the year and we'll go over more stuff, but I hope to bring you on a couple hunts with me, get some good footage. My footage usually isn't quite as good as it was previously unless I'm in a blind and I can take my better mirrorless camera with a really nice lens and stuff like that. For a lot of what I'll be doing, I'm going to have a little bow holder. I did a review on it a while back called the Mag Pro, I believe, but it's basically a little magnetic thing that goes right on my stabilizer of my bow, and I just put my phone on. Since I have my phone out checking HuntWise and stuff like that regardless, I can put it on there and hit record. But even then, though, being on my bow, it's a little shaky. Any zooming in on the phone, that's the one main downside. It's definitely starts to lose its quality, and in low light conditions will start to lose its quality. But if I have my, Canon and my nice L series lenses, I can get much better footage. So you'll see some that is okay. You'll just see some that is a little bit poor. But to kind of bring you out what I'm seeing, to catch you up to now, I would say that I had our shooter bucks, and I get a pretty good consensus of the bucks because I run cameras pretty much all year round for deer, turkey, security, stuff like that. And, over the last few years, I've talked about getting incrementally better, and to have these deer out to September 26th, September 27th coming, all 2 or 3 bucks in daylight, ready to go. For a second, I was honestly thinking this was going to be like a slam dunk. The last few days, though, it hasn't been the same, and that could be due to numerous things. Neighbors going out, people putting bait out, unfortunately, which is illegal in Michigan, but definitely, change their patterns. In my opinion, a lot of the time, by the time it gets to late September and you're rolling into October, a lot of the deer are already in their fall patterns. They've kind of found where they're going to be nestling around, but that pressure can change stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, these are these camp mocks. They are really meant for more colder weather, and it's just like a camp shoe, right? There's not really any tread. It's not really a sole. There's like some cushion here, but it's meant to be just like a comfort thing. Walking around all day, in the mountains, your feet are sore. You don't want to leave them in your boots. You want to let things air out and dry. So you start off, the next day with dry feet and comfortable feet. And this will be something you can wear around the fire, but it is kind of like a, 20 to 50 degree type shoe. So we'll slip this one on. This is the extra large. I wear a size 12 shoe. Hopefully you can see that okay. First impression is it's comfy. It's, somewhat loose, like you're not going to be running in them, but they are comfy. I would kind of wonder, hopefully you could see that okay, I would kind of wonder how well they would do. They feel almost airy. I'm not wearing any socks and stuff, so maybe that has something to do with it. But wondering how they'd stack up in the in the cold. I guess we'll find out, and I can bring you more. But I just thought that was kind of cool. They just came into stock, a few weeks back or a month or whatever, and I wasn't sure I was going to get them. But being that I'm going to bring one pair of boots and maybe these and some flip-flops or Crocs or something, I thought it would be worth it at camp, hanging out, not just having some good hunts, but a good, experience in general. Yeah, this XL is a 12 to 13 size. Is that backwards to you? Maybe. Anyway, so, and again, I'm my actual foot size is probably 11 and a half, where a 12. But they feel good. Oh, they actually do say left and right. So this was the left. And they come with a little baggie to put in, store them in the backpack. The nice thing is, going on a trip like this, they're going to be taking care of my food, because there'll be horses and a guide there. I don't need to worry about that as far as pack weight goes. So I will just have a bunch of clothes, some accessory stuff. They didn't have like pads or anything, so I'm bringing my own, sleeping pad, and then my bag and a little pillow and stuff like that helps me sleep. So I'm sure I'll fill the backpack up, no problem. And I'm excited to bring that to you guys. Also wanted to say I appreciate some of you sending me some video options and stuff that you'd want to see. I have not forgotten, have some written down. And I do appreciate that. I'm hoping to kind of take up time in time periods that I'm gone. Like when I'm in Montana, I won't be able to post any new videos, but I oftentimes schedule these out, just like Jeff or anyone would, but do some recordings when I can, when it's feasible, and then schedule them in some gaps that otherwise I might not have any video. And then when I get back, even though I'm sure be dog tired, get some footage out to you, hopefully from Montana. Debating on taking the mirrorless out there. I think that would be fun, and I'd get some dang good footage. But God forbid, hopefully do get an elk. Not God forbid, but hopefully do get an elk, and I have to deal with, the meat, potentially antlers, my gear, and getting all that back, and worrying about, the camera and lens and stuff like that would just be another worry, and something to figure out how I would need to do that. But it sure would be fun, especially if you did tag out early in that case, where you could spend a little time doing other things and taking photos, and I would really enjoy that. So kind of convincing myself, I think. Anyway, gonna head out to the farm, maybe do a little update on the barn, but cement should be getting poured this coming week, which is cool. And then they're gonna finish up while I'm gone, and come back, pretty much wrap up with the contractor there, and show you guys that. So soon I'll be driving out there, and let's see how this first hunt of the year goes. Man, the sun really puts a beating on your head. It's gonna be a hot sit. Probably not the most ideal, and generally speaking, we wouldn't want to be out here except for most prime days. However, I have had really good movement in daylight, and I'm gonna be gone for quite some time, so the property's gonna get to kind of sit and die down anyway, with very little pressure and very little scent. So I wanted to kind of come for opening day and have that little tradition. It is going to get colder later this week after 5 or so days, but like I said, be getting ready for that trip out to Montana. You can see the barn. They have got some windows in, and I believe the roof is on, and like some soffit and stuff, but maybe not those end caps or side caps or whatever you call them, to kind of finish that trim. But excited, a lot's going to happen next week, and then I think they'll actually be finishing up when I'm gone. So it'll be cool to come back and see the finished product, I think. I am really hoping today that one of my old thermocells will light and work, because I was seeing on Facebook, and I can tell just being out here getting dressed as slowly as possible to not sweat, that the bugs are probably going to be pretty bad. I'll be on an edge, so I'm thinking they'll be in and around. I'm bringing a little face mask, and I'll have a hat for the sun, which will probably be going to be in my face, I want to say, so we'll see. And then I'm going to go and just get the e-bike, go most of the way, probably leave that a couple 100 yards short, do a nice walk to the stand. I'm gonna get my bins out here and start organizing all my accessories, load up my pockets, and then grab that bike and head out. Nothing crazy. So if you saw my last short, I think it was, I might have put it in a video too, I can't remember. I have these bins here, and I break it down into 2 bins. So this is my primary bin. So basically on every hunt I need to go into this, and it's gonna have stuff like my rangefinder to have ready, binoculars, my bow release, wind indicator, things that I know at least some stuff I'm gonna need every hunt in this bin, okay, just to reiterate it. My secondary bin is what has things like the thermocell, what has things like my tree stand harness, and sometimes if I'm in like a blind, obviously, you know, I'm not wearing a tree stand harness, things like that, so I really don't need it every time, so I kind of keep that in a secondary bin. But the other reason I really do things this way, bow rope, etc., I do these bins this way is because when I come back from the truck, if you're using a backpack, a fanny pack, this and that, the essentials like this, I will unload and I'll put back in the bin every time. When I go back out, if I'm using a saddle next time and I want to put stuff in my pouch, I'll go back into the bin, get my release, re-get that stuff and put it back in. So it is a little bit of unpacking and repacking every time, but you guys know when you get back to the truck, you're taking off your layers or whatever, trying to keep some scent contained, and your drive home and such like that. Most of it I'm taking off regardless, emptying my pockets so I don't put them in the wash. I throw them in the bin, I'm good to go. So I hope for a couple of you that helps, but I really like that system. Otherwise, the truck is a mess, and I know at some point I'm gonna forget something because it's in a previous pack or something like that. I think this is gonna be one of my favorite parts, guys. This nice little porch, even with this blazing sun. Get here in the shade, have a chair, maybe put a target out, hang the bow up, shoot some arrows. Man, I am really looking forward to that. All right, guys, it's about 4 o'clock. It's pretty hot, right in the sun. I didn't think about that, but you can see our nice pass-through plot here. It's looking pretty good. Got a pretty long 4-hour sit ahead of us. I'll probably wait a little bit to put on my face mask. But I wanted to show you guys real quick this switchgrass part of the farm. This was my worst stand if you've been following my switchgrass videos the last few years. It is something I had to mow multiple years and take all of the steps, and now look, with one spraying at 2,4-D, this will actually be an amazing switchgrass stand.
I also wanted to show real quick this deer that had left the hunting plot and started making its way to my other blind where my other food is. It's a path of least resistance that I put in and shows perfectly a foundation of movement that I was trying to accomplish.
Alright guys, hopefully you can see me okay. It was a super fun sit. You probably got to see a good bit of action in here. Saw 7 to 9 different bucks. So that was super cool. No doe. Surprisingly, talk about a ratio. I don't know why that was, but you know, we don't have much ag, and the ag's kind of pushed off the property mostly. So that could have something to do with it. Yeah, I mean, can't ask for too much more. I did actually see one potential shooter. I'm pretty sure it was, but it was 200 yards off. And right after I put my binos down, it went into like a switchgrass area, so I could not get my phone out to show you guys. Kind of makes for a little more boring video. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see that possibility, but literally for the last hour 20, I was standing there with my bow and with that kind of tripod that I was in. I don't have a perfect tree or limb to hold my bow up with a hanger. And so I was so nervous about that I basically held it on the rail for almost an hour and a half. So it was hard for me to use my hands. I was shaking half the time, but can't ask for too much more. Still no luck yet on an opening day hunt, but that was great. So I hope you guys had similar success having fun. I'll see you next time.